how can I move to Canada free? Well, I'm going to tell you 3 ways you can move to Canada free. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Hey beautiful people, what's up? Wagwan, right? Welcome back to another video. I'm going to cover working, how you can come here free as a worker. 2, how you can come here as an international student. And 3, how you can come here with a spousal benefit free. Right? Free. Free. You got me? Free. As a worker, right? If you want to move to Canada as a worker, well, the first thing you need to do is you need to join LinkedIn. If you're not on LinkedIn, get on LinkedIn. And if you're on LinkedIn, you need to create a professional look. Ensure you put that you're open to work. Start putting your location for location in Canada. Edit that profile. Ensure that when you're editing your LinkedIn profile, especially for my professionals, you want to ensure that you go into your settings and ensure that whatever you're updating is not set to public, because you do not want your current employer to see that you're in the business of looking for jobs. So you want to update that setting, right? The next thing you want to do on LinkedIn is ensure you put that you're open to work. Then after putting that you're open to work, you want to go in your details of your job description. So whatever job that you currently have, you want to check for the jobs that Canadian employers are looking for and look at their job description. Now you want to take your job description and word it similar to the job description that Canadian employers are looking for, because when a recruiter reaches out to you, they need to see that your description, whatever you have for your job description, is similar to the position they are trying to fill. They want to ensure that whatever skills you have is transferable to their company. That's what they are really checking for. So yes, we see you have a bachelor's degree in the field that you're in, or maybe you have this associate degree, whatever the degree is or the qualification, but the real question they want to answer, can you do our work? That's why we're employing you, to do our work. So you want to update your job description, right, to fit the job description of jobs that you are interested in. Also, under the skills section, you want to ensure that you have the similar skills to what they are looking for on their job. If you pay for LinkedIn Premium, you can see the specific skills that employers are looking for when they have new jobs available. But if you don't, that's okay. Just look at the job, the profile of the job that they're trying to fill. Look at the required skills, and you want to ensure that you have some of those skills. Another thing that persons do not edit on their LinkedIn profile when they're looking for jobs is some keywords. So if you look underneath my title, for example, on LinkedIn, you realize I have so many keywords in it relating to engineering, because if you're looking at an engineering job or a job in marketing or a job in finance, you need to ensure that your keyword section is fully keyed out. So you target every keyword that's on those jobs. If you're looking for work in finance, you want to put keywords such as green finance, investment expert, you name it, those different keywords. For me in engineering, I want to put keywords like power system design, power system analyst, AutoCAD designs, things like that, or skills like that that employers in Canada are looking for. If your LinkedIn profile is optimized the right way, you will find employers sending you messages, yes, I said it, I said it, you will find that employers will start to send you message on LinkedIn to ask you if you're available for a call so you can discuss a new opportunity. I found it very interesting. I did not know that until I moved to Canada, that there are so many jobs out there that are not even advertised, and then you find recruiters reaching out to you to say, hey, I think you might be a great fit for this role. Yes, so optimize your LinkedIn. Ensure you do all that I just said. Maximize on your keywords. Ensure your skills, your job description is similar to positions that employers are looking for. And in most cases, if you're not in Canada, you want to ensure that you put that you're willing to relocate, right? Also, when you're finished, a lot of persons don't know this, but employers in Canada demand a Canadian style resume. If you don't know, you can get your Canadian style resume straight from LinkedIn. Just go in your settings, create resume, and use your profile. Download it. There you go. You have a Canadian style resume. Using LinkedIn and Indeed, you can use those two sites to get jobs in Canada. So that's one way you can come to Canada free. Different provinces has different career opportunities. So British Columbia has their own website with different jobs on it, and those jobs in most cases are willing to sponsor. So you go to the province's website and look at careers, and then now you use your LinkedIn profile resume that you would have downloaded because you heard it here first, and send to these employers. Also, apart from the provinces, the AIP provinces such as Nova Scotia, at least twice a year, they have annual job fairs. Keep posted. To know about these job fairs, you need to keep on checking the government's website. Every province in Canada has their own website with their own data, their own information. If you're interested in a particular province, you want to keep on checking those websites, especially if you're a nurse, you're someone in tech, you're an engineer, you're someone in finance. Keep checking those websites. Number 2, let's talk about international students, because I'm an international student. A lot of things that normally deter people from taking this route is because it's expensive, right? But what if I told you there's a way you can come here as an international student for free? Yes, as an international student, to come to Canada for free, there are a lot of schools, prominent schools, with great scholarship benefits. And to get these scholarships, you need to choose schools that when you go on their website, you look for finance, and then you look for financial aids, and you look at their different scholarship opportunities. The question is, sometimes you might question yourself and say, hey, you don't have the GPA, or you don't have certain criteria. But do not let that deter you from applying, because a lot of people will just look at, okay, I don't qualify, yeah, and move on. It's always the people who are persistent and apply either way still will have a chance to get through. And if you're going to do a master's or a PhD, ensure that you get sponsorship for that. And one of these conditions to get this funding is that you need to plan in advance. So to come here free as an international student, look at schools such as, for example, University of Saskatchewan, University of Regina, also University of British Columbia, University of Toronto. Well, you know, those big name schools, they always normally, even University Canada West, they have scholarships too. So you have to look, and you have to give yourself time, because if you're interested in coming here and coming here free, you can't just wait 3-4 months in advance to apply, especially when you need the funding and the scholarship. Most masters and PhD programs, they do come with funding, but you have to plan in advance. Reach out to the program head who is in charge of that master's program, or who is in charge of the certain topic that you are interested in. Show your relevant work experience and the value you have to offer. that right there, if you can secure that sponsorship or that team lead for your research, you're on your way. So you can come here as an international student free. For the bachelor's level, it's the same thing. Look at the different scholarships that the school has available. They are there, but you have to plan wisely. You have to give yourself a year in advance to apply for things like these. For schools that require GMAT or GRE, do not let that deter you. Chances are when you have that, you're at a higher chance of getting the scholarship or the sponsorship that you need. You don't need to pay this international fee if you don't have that money and if you have the time. For me, I didn't have the time, but if you have the time, you can make it work. And please, I always tell people, do not rule out British Columbia. Even though cost of living is expensive here, think about the other areas like Salmon Arm, Cranbrook. Those are the areas, Selkirk, where you have universities there. They are remote areas, but you have a higher chance of getting a sponsorship or a scholarship there. Do your research. There are scholarships are there, but if you need that information based on what you are studying, you need to look at the school's website. I cannot look on all the school's website for everyone. I'm sorry, I cannot. But when you go there, look for it. And one thing about these first world countries, see, the bigger schools, they have more money to give to students to do research, right? So more funding opportunities, right? And also these bigger schools, if you need to know something, do not be afraid to send an email or make that call to book an appointment to speak with someone who can help you. They will take your call or will provide a means to set up a time for interview or to ask certain questions. You can do it. The sky is the limit. Do not let anything deter you, especially money. There's ways around it if you don't have money. The third way you can come here free is spouse or family, right? So if you have a sister or you have a brother or you have a husband, right, or your mother or your father, they can sponsor you in coming to Canada. Yes, they can sponsor you, but that one I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because most persons watching do not have that, hence why work and school is the main option. When I say to come here free, yes, you can get scholarships, right? Yes, someone can sponsor you, and yes, you can get a job offer, but it is not free. It is not completely free. So one aspect of it might be free because you get the work, you get a job offer to come, so you don't have to pay that money up front for someone to get the work for you, right? Or you get the scholarship from the school who is willing for you to come and do the research, right? But the thing is, anything with immigration is going to cost some money. That's just the truth. Because at the end of the day, you're still going to have to pay for your applications. You're still going to have to do criminal record checks. Even medical, it costs money. Even as a student, even yes, the school is paying for you, you still need some money to help on the back end to sort out your applications and documents that you will need. And I'm going to tell you, that money, it can easily run you near $5,000. Easily. To get permanent residence, it costs money. It is not free. Anything immigration, it is not free. So from now, I want you to get that out of your mind. But if you can find a way, which is what I'm assuming that you're trying to do, to cut down some of your costs, by all means, try all the ways that you can. but you need to give yourself a timeline to say, okay, I'm going to try for these jobs. I'm going to give myself 6 months. If the jobs do not work out, then plan B is I am going to use school. I'm going to apply for these scholarship. Now you need to give yourself another year. You're really putting 1 year and 6 months. Put it to 2 years just because you might procrastinate along the way, right? That's 2 years of your life. The question that you have to ask yourself is, during these 2 years of my life I spent trying to get a scholarship or a sponsorship, right? Did it cost me more in terms of time value of money? How much did it really cost you? Because you see, time, you cannot get back time. Money will always come back. I'm a firm believer of that. Money always comes back, but time, you cannot get back your time. So you really have to think, if you really want this move, the question is, how much are you willing to pay for it? Because it's not free. When you come here as a student or a worker, you still have to consider your pathways of how you're going to become a permanent resident. Are you going to seek PNP nomination to get there? And if so, that's a cost by itself. PNP nomination costs money again, and then after PNP nomination for permanent residents, that also costs money. You know what I mean? So it all adds up, and if you want to be a citizen of Canada also, that costs money again. I was saying to my husband, if someone had sit me down, tell me all these possible costs to get to this point, would I still come here and do a master's degree instead of maybe a graduate certificate? Right? Because at the end of the day, it all costs money. It ain't free. On a whole, it is not free. I'm sorry, it is not. Please get that out of your head. It is not free. Immigration costs money. I've spoken to people who tell me for their permanent residents, they were paid up to $10,000 to become permanent residents because they're paid lawyers or immigration consultant all this money. That's just their costs, because you still have to pay for medical, you still have to pay for all the other things that you need. So this is why I tell you guys, keep up with my videos, keep up with immigration content wise in Canada, especially if you're coming on this journey, because you need to know the information yourself so that you can do things yourself. Plan wisely. Canada is not free. It is not free, and the sooner you realize that, the sooner you start making decisions when it comes to the program that you do and the route that you choose to do it. Even if an employer is going to pay for your immigration fees, right? They say they'll pay you back to your immigration fees. You have to bear in mind that at what cost, because that employer might pay for all of it, but you know that work permit might only last 2 or 3 years, right? When it's time to renew it, that employer probably do not pay to renew it, right? And then you'll have to pay that fee. Plus also that employer, because they're paying for your immigration fee, might give you a work permit that is closed. So you can only work for that employer when you get here. You can't do any other jobs because you have a work permit that is closed. In life, we are all living and learning as we go along. So be nice to everyone. However way you can help someone else. If you're watching this video and you maybe know of a work or an opportunity where you can help someone else, please leave it in the comments. And if you see anything that anyone suggests, please also do your research about it and see if you have an opportunity there. Even with the work thing, before I go, there was this nanny program, care program that so many people don't talk about, but it's a path into Canada. If you can get someone who's willing to sponsor you as a nanny or a caretaker of a family member, right, they can sponsor you, give you that work thing to get here. And the government, because it's a pilot program and a pathway, you have to work 2 years as a nanny or a caregiver for that person's family, and then after that 2 years you will get permanent residence. But you have to get an employer or a family who earns a certain amount of money who will sponsor you. You have to. One day when I start having kids, guys, I'll definitely need someone right? But you have to find that person who is willing to sponsor you. So I want to say, don't give up, especially for nanny work. Someone told me once, if you need a nanny work or sponsorship, there's companies in Ontario that actually does this. So you gotta do your research, especially when you are outside of the country. Try to see if you know someone in Ontario who can check out these places for you. That's the safest way, because even though they might have a website online and an email, be careful. If they don't have a physical location where you can go and or ask someone to go on your behalf, be careful. And even when they do have a physical location, you still have to ensure that it is legal. Thank you so much for watching this video, and let me know, are you planning on coming to Canada one of the free ways? Are you someone looking how you can get it free, how you can come here free? Or are you someone who is just going to pay the international fees and do a program? It's your way in. Are you someone who is just going to do like a 6-month program, get a start and make it happen? Do you have a visa and planning on doing maybe a healthcare aid program, because it's a new tier system and a nurse aid or healthcare aid person can apply an express entry, also get PNP nomination, and those courses or those areas are normally less than 6 months, so you can come here with a visa, get your insurance and do those studies, or you can do them online. What are you planning on doing? What's the route you're thinking of taking? So this is a little gem. I like to add little gems at the end of my videos, if you don't realize by now, it's because this is for people who watch the entire video. So you know, like those healthcare aid programs and nurse aid programs, the programs that with schools that are less than 6 months, yes, you do not need a student visa to do programs like that. And when you're finished, you'll get a Canadian certificate, which one you can use in the express entry pool to add more points, especially if it falls underneath the new tier, because with the new tier they are taking lower skilled trades in it now. So if you even get a certificate for an electrician, a plumber, a nurse aid, those type of in-demand things, and it's less than 6 months, you do it online or in person from a reputable school. Here in Canada there are so many though, right? You can add it to your express profile and you get more points, and because they're going to start selecting based on demand, you possibly might be in luck. Starting January 2023, you will be in luck. So what are you planning on doing? That's another way to get here, but it's not free, right? Even the nurse aid program, especially for places like Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, if you can get that certification, if you have a Canadian visa, right, and you come here and you can do that program, which is less than 6 months. Maybe you do the theory part back home, and then the last month or 2 for the practical part, you can get your insurance. Yes, as a visitor, you can get insurance in Canada, right? You pay for your insurance from the private company. Do your little practical part of what you need to do. Find out the things that you need right there, right? And you do that. You can get a job offer. You can get PNP nomination for all these other provinces. Is that one way that you're thinking of doing it? Do your research. All the best to you on your journey. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I want to say bye.